The Book of Ecclesiastes is one of the most profound, raw, and reflective writings in the entire Bible, attributed to King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived. Ecclesiastes dares to ask the questions many people are afraid to voice. What is the meaning of life? Why does success seem empty? Why do both the righteous and the wicked die? And above all, what really matters? Ecclesiastes opens with a jarring declaration in Ecclesiastes 1-2. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities. All is vanity. The Hebrew word for vanity is hevel, meaning vapor or breath. It's not just about pride, it refers to the fleeting, temporary, and mysterious nature of life. Solomon is telling us that life under the sun when lived apart from God feels meaningless, like trying to grasp smoke. Throughout the book, the phrase under the sun appears over 25 times. It's a key phrase that reflects a life focused only on earthly things. Without acknowledging the eternal, Solomon explores every earthly pursuit imagined: wealth, pleasure, work, status, and concludes that none of them satisfy the soul. In Ecclesiastes 2, Solomon reflects on his own quest. I said in my heart, "Come now, I will test you with pleasure. Enjoy yourself, but behold, this also was vanity." He built houses, planted vineyards, amassed gold and silver, acquired singers and servants. Yet, he found it all empty. He had everything the world says brings happiness, yet still felt hollow. Why? Because pleasure without purpose leaves the soul empty. Solomon also speaks about the limitations of human wisdom. In Ecclesiastes 1:18 he writes, "For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow." The more he understood the brokenness of the world, the more his heart ached. This doesn't mean knowledge is bad, but apart from God, even wisdom can't bring peace. Another major theme is the inevitability of death. Ecclesiastes 3:20 says, "All go to one place. All are from the dust, and all return to dust." This reality strips away pride and reminds us that earthly achievements, no matter how great, will not last. Whether rich or poor, wise or foolish, everyone meets the same fate. But Solomon doesn't present this to depress us, does it to awaken us? Death is the great equalizer, and it forces us to ask, what will truly endure? One of the most famous passages in Ecclesiastes is chapter 3, where Solomon poetically describes the seasons of life. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to keep and a time to throw away. This powerful list reminds us that life is full of cycles, and part of wisdom is learning to navigate those seasons with trust in God. Ecclesiastes also provides a sober warning about work and toil. In chapter 2, Solomon questions the value of working so hard, only to leave your possessions to someone who may squander them. He writes, "What has a man from all the toil and striving of heart with which he toils beneath the sun?" His point isn't to promote laziness, but to say that work is meaningless when it's disconnected from worship. Interestingly, the book doesn't offer pat answers or false hope. Instead, it invites us to wrestle honestly with reality. But throughout its reflections, Solomon drops in glimpses of what does matter. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "God has set eternity in the human heart." This verse hints that our longing for meaning is not a flaw. It's a clue to our design. We weren't made to be satisfied with temporary pleasures or earthly success. Our hearts were made for God. In multiple passages, Solomon urges us to enjoy life as a gift, not an idol. In Ecclesiastes 9:7-9, he says, "Go, eat your bread with joy, and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already approved what you do." He encourages us to enjoy marriage, food, and work not as ultimate purposes, but as daily blessings. It's a powerful shift. Life may be short, but it can still be sacred. Perhaps the most direct teaching comes in Ecclesiastes 12, the final chapter. After all the searching, Solomon concludes with this timeless truth. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's it. After exploring everything the world offers, Solomon says it all comes down to revering God and walking in obedience. Why? Because God will bring every deed into judgment. Eternal perspective gives weight to every moment. Key teachings from Ecclesiastes. Life is fleeting, live with eternity in mind. Everything under the sun fades, but what's done for God lasts. Earthly success cannot satisfy eternal souls. Wealth, pleasure, and fame without God will always leave us empty. Death puts life in perspective. When we remember our days are numbered, we seek deeper meaning. God has set eternity in our hearts. Our spiritual hunger points to our divine purpose. Enjoy God's daily gifts. Marriage, food, work, and rest are blessings when received with gratitude. Wisdom without God leads to sorrow. True wisdom begins with reverence for the Lord. The final word is to fear God and keep his commands. This is our purpose, our calling, and our joy. Why Ecclesiastes still matters today. In a world obsessed with instant success, temporary highs, and chasing likes. Ecclesiastes brings us back to center. It teaches that meaning is not found in more but in surrender. It's not about escaping reality, it's about embracing reality with God at the center. Whether you're young and dreaming big, or older and looking back, Ecclesiastes calls each of us to live wisely, walk humbly, and pursue what truly lasts.